Hey friends, I'm back in the studio today and I come across another lesson that I wanted to share with you. Daily we run into negotiations of some sort or another. This one would be something to consider probably if you as a buyer, even sellers though, take this and use it whatever however you can. Here is a little story about what happened with a roof and how we worked it out. It came out to the benefit of the seller and the buyer got a really inexpensive roof, and the seller got his home sold the way he wanted it done. I put a house on the market several years ago, started marketing it. We got an offer right away. In the process, we accepted the offer and was moving forward, and the buyers brought in their home inspector and they checked the house out. Unbeknownst to any of us, the roof did have some hail damage on it. They requested the roof be replaced, or at the very least turned into the insurance company to see if there could be a claim put on the property, because the seller wasn't aware that there had been hail damage on the roof. The claim came through, they replaced the roof. The only question was the deductible. So the seller had asked me to see if the buyer would pay the deductible. The buyer's agent or the buyer, I'm not sure which one, maybe is a combination of both, that said, no, that's the seller's roof and that's the seller's deductible. We're not paying that deductible. To be honest about it, I guess I kind of agreed with them, as you do anytime you have a good brokerage where you have more than one brain to work with. I called Keith and I said, hey, Keith, what do you think we ought to do with this? And he said, well, heck, they bought the house knowing the roof was 12, 15 years old, so they already knew they were going to have to put a new roof on it sometime in the near future. So why wouldn't they pay $1,000 to get a new roof? I thought, oh my gosh, why didn't I think of that? I mean, obviously, this is a really cheap new roof if it's just $1,000 deductible and you don't have to worry about it again, right? Probably even get cheaper insurance rates because now you're insuring a brand new roof. So I called the other agent back and I said, hey, my seller needs that deductible paid. Here's the reason why your buyer should think that's a really good deal. And I made the case for him and pointed out how they already knew they were buying an old roof, but because of circumstances that come along in insurance contracts, we found out there was hail on this roof. So for only $1,000, the old roof they were buying, they knew they were going to have to be replaced, is going to be replaced, and they don't have to worry about it for the next many years. And of course, they seen the point of view, and the deal went through. And everybody was happy, and the buyer got a good roof, and the seller got his house sold. And the whole purpose of the story is to point out that when you're negotiating, especially in real estate, you have to look at both sides. You have to play the chess game, if you will, and sit there and go, how does this affect me positively? Don't get in a hurry. Don't buck up and say no. Think about the situation and how it affects you positively and how you can offer something to the seller that affects them positively as well. Here's another situation that I ran into, and it's just another way of thinking about this. Some people bought a house and it had an old furnace in it. Furnaces lifespan 10, 15 years if you maintain them. This furnace was 20 plus years old. So when the buyer put the offer on the house, they requested a home warranty because they knew that furnace was fixing to bite the dust. When the home inspector came in, of course, he checked the furnace and he checked the plenum chamber, and it was cracked or fixing to crack. I'm not exactly sure, but it was done. All right. It needed a new furnace. What we did, went back to the seller and said, hey, furnace just doesn't pass. It's not safe. It's not safe for you. And at that point, the seller can't sell the house to anybody because his furnace isn't safe, right? What we did was say, here's what we'll do. If you'll replace the furnace, we're going to remove that $700 home warranty off the contract. That will no longer be an obligation for you to pay. We'll take the warranty off if you'll go ahead and replace the furnace for us. And the seller did. So what did the buyer get? They got a brand new furnace for $700, right? You're thinking, okay, well, now they don't have a warranty on the house. Well, okay, go buy a warranty and put it on there to make yourself feel better. Doesn't mean the seller has to pay for it, but it does mean that you no longer have to worry about that furnace, and you made a really great negotiation to your benefit, and it was also helpful to the seller because he got his house sold and didn't have to put in a new furnace and lose his contract and all that stuff. So hopefully these two stories will just help you think about keeping your head on a swivel. Go to this side of the table and think about where you're at and how this will benefit you, and then walk around and go over on that seller side of the table and consider how this helps them and how you can construct something that benefits both people and you have a win-win on this real estate contract. And anytime you can do that, you're going to have a lot cleaner real estate deal, come out at the winner at the end, and have happy people at the closing table. So hopefully this helps you. It's just an anecdotal story, but it's true stories that have happened to me, and I will come back and share some more with you, because after 30 years I've got a lot of these. But hopefully this helps. Take them and use them, and as always, I want you to have a very blessed day.